Welcome to the Knowledge Entrepreneurs Show, where we celebrate the innovators driving change in the education industry. At Edison OS, we've worked with over 500 knowledge entrepreneurs to turn their edtech ideas into profitable businesses. Hi, Srinivasan. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for accepting the invite to be a part of this show, the Knowledge Entrepreneurs Show.
Thank you. And I'm too a bit excited about talking to you. I'm actually, excited. I'm trembling.
I know you're not trembling, sir,
Yeah.
but I know you're trying to keep the humor. I hope I don't end up trembling. That is all.
Mm.
Um, Sorry. So, sir, before we get started with the questions and all those things, just for the sake of our listeners and even for us, since we're meeting after a long time, I'll just talk about what is the show, what is the purpose behind this, so that our podcast can also be aligned with that purpose. So, as the name suggests, it's the Knowledge Entrepreneur Show. It's a show dedicated to people who are in the knowledge domain, in the education domain, and so far, we've had about 15 guests, and all the 15 guests have been entrepreneurs in the knowledge space. Either they've been teaching something, be it sports related, be it music related, or they've been building some technology for the education space. And we've had people who've been training SAT and, the test preps and all those things. Now, the reason we are doing this is, there are people outside of the entrepreneurial space, but who are teaching and training for other academies, and who will be up and coming and who have some dreams of starting their own academy. But as much as you research about all these things on the internet, there's only limited knowledge available. That's when we thought, talking to people who are really in it, doing something, just a conversation will bring out so much of insights. It need not have to help people chart a path for them to become an entrepreneur. It can also open their eyes and make them see that they may not be the right people to be entrepreneurs, or entrepreneur thing may not be their cup of tea. It's not everybody's cup of tea at the end of the day. Some people might be comfortable, some people may not be comfortable. So that is what we're trying to bring out of this show. And the questions, we will talk about what you do at FA Hosur, but mostly I'll be asking questions about the business FA Hosur, how you built it, what are the challenges you face. We'll be talking about all those things. So that's what this podcast is going to be about.
So it will be like you'll ask the question, then I will have to answer, right?
It's a conversation, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
it's going to be a conversation where you'll obviously be talking the most. My maximum talking pretty much ends here. Here's my first question to you, sir.
Okay.
It's going to be a light, open-ended, personal question. Please feel free to share, go back in time as much as you want, because this is what is going to help us connect with the listeners out there. Sir, walk us through your journey so far. What was your childhood like growing up? What did you actually aspire to become, and how did you end up being a knowledge entrepreneur by starting FA Hosur?
Oh my God, Jack! I never knew that you are such a wonderful, talented person. Your question is very small, but the answers have to be a bit longer. Okay. See, I'm basically, the first son of a, state bank clerk and a housewife. Both of them graduates, and I have a lineage of teachers. My grandfathers on either side have been great teachers, great teachers, and another grandfather, the younger one of one of my maternal grandfather. Uh, uh, he was a famous writer in Tamil, uh, and um, as usual, this family is one which gives a lot of importance for education, and they may, and we were hailing from a village. So these are some of the inputs which you should remember when I go to connect the dots. At the end of this answer. Growing up, my dad was going from place to place. I've almost traveled and lived in most part of the state, Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, we used to have one brand of tooth powder called Gopal Pal. Okay, so the advertising line those days for that 2000 will go like this: available everywhere, India, Sri Lanka, and all parts of Tamil Nadu. So like that, being a bank manager's son, I was going across all the parts of Tamil Nadu, and all that helped. Probably, I guess now looking back, all everything culminated into shaping me as an educator today. I'm still not yet become an edupreneur, but I'm certainly become a teacher, if I say. But prior to that, my aim was to become, finance head of company. I somehow, in my age, when people at my age normally will go after finance, I went after finance, and I always dreamt of sitting in that top floor corner room, CFO room, and directing the company's affairs wherever they are located. Um, and eventually, I ended up becoming a CFO. I was a CFO in a few companies, one Indo-Australian MNC to start with, and the next one was a UK-based MNC, all in Chennai. And then I moved on to one insurance company, which is also an international player. And finally, I was CFO in one of the GE verticals. Uh, it's been fascinating journey all through. And you know what? Everything culminated. And, as a finance guy, fortunately or unfortunately, uh, I never did into the basics of accounting. So now, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. That has never been the stuff for me. God gave me opportunities to transform businesses. Wherever, whatever job or company I had, I ended up, making the company bigger in one sense or other. So the companies could have been, suffering from zero turnover. I brought them up to 100 crores, and then 3 crores to 120 crores, including some small mergers and amalgamations, strategies, etc., etc. Apart from me being a chartered accountant with a good academic record, I've also studied a little bit of management here and there with IIM Bangalore, ISB Hyderabad, and our own learning center, Arriva University, France. So all these things help me to do the transformation, business transformation jobs in my wherever I've taken up assignments. And finally, one day, probably I was internally growing beyond the official positions I've been handling. So I decided to quit and take up. I've decided to take upon the transformation of the people around because I was working in GE vertical in Hosur. At that time, I bumped on certain characters in this place, so I quit. And since I had nothing to do, I started this venture because I always find that I think that I'm eligible to teach something or other to everyone. So people like me who has this kind of attitude or heavy high-headedness either could land up into teaching or into politics. Fortunately, I took up teaching.
That is great, sir.
Yeah, and that's how I started this. And I live in a place which is a growing town, growing city, where
Right.
there's a lot of ignorance on all accounts. Um, and so, I'm enjoying the transformation of people here. I combine my uh, the authenticity, the what makes me think that I'm eligible to teach whatever I'm teaching. I'm teaching finance here. Comes from the fact that I'm a all India rank holder in chartered accountancy, where that even passing itself is very difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then coming from value of education, I picked it up from the uh, family lineage, the who always taught the importance of education and values, and the fact that we have been moving around places other than cities
Right.
during my dad's days helped me to create an empathy towards the people whom I'm hanging around. Like I said in the beginning, all these things help me culminate into this role of being a transformator of tier 2 or tier 3 city people.
Got it. Got it, Srinivasan. Definitely, I think being an educator gives you that opportunity to also influence people, and through that, there is a scope for transformating people as well, and which you keep, which you rightly mentioned. But you said that you were in G Electricals before you started FA Hosur, and you said you had nothing to do, therefore you started FA Hosur. You could have either become a, either you could have gone into public service, or you could have started teaching, and you chose teaching. But can you please,
No, yes, just a small correction. Either into teaching or into politics, because
politics, I'm sorry.
public service I'm already doing.
Okay, fine. Politics, yeah. I think loosely interchanged both those words. So,
Probably you wanted to be a diplomatic to save, to put set your defenses right.
okay, sir, sure. So, sir, I'd like you to deep dive a little bit more into, you could have done a lot of things. You certainly seem to have identified two things and you chose teaching. But was there anything else that you contemplated, and why teaching? Did you have some teaching experience before? Did you teach part time or anything? How did you choose teaching?
No, like every married man, I was suffering from ability to talk to people but no listener. So I thought I had to make good of this kind of lapse in my life. But I basically love children,
Okay,
and especially those children who are not aware of things, and who are scared of succeeding, so, who has all the people wish to win, be a winner and everything, but
right,
scared of being so, or complacency and all. I somehow like to be a cleanser of such things.
right.
Every time I step into, incidentally, I'm running a trust which helps, which through which I'm supporting about 150 government schools at middle levels
Wow.
in and around Hosur. So
Okay.
they all identify. I don't know them by face or I don't know them by name, etc. But when the moment I step into a school to do some service or other, they will always cheer up and welcome, and they will surround me and keep saying my favorite, tagline. I love you, sir. I don't know. See, probably I got that confidence from such kids that I can also teach. Uh, that's a passion point. But then what am I eligible to teach? Of course, I have a big record, both qualification and experience wise. So I chose to teach finance.
Right. Got it. Um, so you said, you had this experience with kids where you run a trust and you met them, and then there was that experience as well. But from what you shared so far, am I correct if I say that money wasn't a criteria for you,
It
right?
is. It is. Even now, I have not seen money. I have not earned money, but I enjoy doing what I'm doing.
Okay, so what I meant was, when you quit your corporate world, your corporate experience, at that point in time, you didn't have to, you weren't looking to start a business to earn a living.
No,
Was no, right? Yeah,
no.
you could have. I mean, I'm sure you would have earned enough to kind of relax and spend the rest of your life. Am I correct if I say that?
Uh, I would like to, have that kind of a decent background, but anyway, the fact is not that. I've
Okay,
earned in crores, I've lost.
okay,
So now I'm in the process of rebuilding. I have no shame in openly saying that. But then that saying like that also gives me a feeling that I have a commitment to keep chasing at it.
Right.
But the biggest change is that in the process of me earning money, I'm not compromising on anything, so I'm not telling lies, but I'm taking up a responsibility for the entire generation. At least one generation, I will be contributing to, and earn my living. That gives me a great satisfaction. That's a change of thought after post my corporate world. I must be honest enough to say that in order to, I've been getting offers from many companies for the CFO post, but somehow
Right.
or other it was not going through the last leg. And I understood that, I had something else. God has, planned something else for me. And this moment I spotted the connecting point between my passion and profession, everything started clicking. Today, I run TV shows. Almost all the schools and colleges know me, and I would have clocked at least talking to about 1 lakh around that number of students, and they all see me as a like even if they have some problems, fears, need not necessarily to do anything with finance, but anything for any reason they come to. But there are sometimes, I must tell you this interesting thing also. It was in the early days of my academy startup. One father and one son took an appointment with me through one of my common friends here. They visited me. The son was a seventh standard son. And I was thinking that, like any new startup businessman, seeing a customer in every phase I come across. So I thought this boy must be my new customer. So I was speaking like a typical salesman, like you guys have in teacher design. So, uh, no, and then at that point of time, I never realized that the boy is my client, but he was too small, too young.
Right.
And in the due course, the father said, I asked the father, okay, we will talk enough. No, what do you want? Where's your son? Do you want him to put in CA? Yeah, he is the son. I thought, no, he's too small. What is he doing? He's currently in seventh. For seventh standard, it is too early, but let him, keep playing. CA is a bit serious. I will take him out of 5 years. That's the right thing. No, I mean, that itself will show that I'm not that good a businessman at all. Not being able to see some money through that boy. But, the father said, what are you saying, sir? You want to teach? I want to put him into CA only, no? Yeah, yeah, I'm doing CA, all the stuff, fine. But then it's too early. No, no. At his age, I learned cooking, What is it, God? I was a bit confused and then said, what do you mean cooking? CA and 7th standard. At that time, the father said, he said, come on, sir. I know CA means catering. That's right. You know, the,
Oh God. Okay.
how do I take it? Is it an insult on me or insult on that fellow? Or, he comes from, he's a filthy rich guy, by
Okay.
the way, and that is the level of ignorance I really took pity
Right.
on him.
Right.
So that was a start fine. Yeah.
Got
So
it.
yeah, that's the thing that drives me, and I have not started any center or any such initiative. The same initiatives I'm doing
Right.
in Chennai or Bombay or something like that,
Right.
where I could have easily made money. I've stuck to this place, and so far, I think officially I've trained about 500 students in the last
Okay.
8 years, and I've produced all India rank holders, and I've placed some of them. Yeah,
Great.
that has helped transforming some people
Great. So
in the process.
I didn't mean to be rude when I asked you, whether you were set for your life when you quit GE Electricals. It was just to establish, where were you when you started? Because a lot of people who are aspiring to do something like what you're doing might be listening, and I want them to know, okay, this person has exactly gone through this, and that is the situation from where he started. Because a lot of people might be in the same situation as what you were. a few years back, and it gives them a confidence, or it gives them that hope that yeah, it can be done. Even if you do not have any money, you can start from scratch, and you can go on to build stuff. So that's the reason I just wanted to ask. And I'm thank you so much for being very transparent about what your situation was. And another thing that
That
fascinated.
that can save me from any income tax visits.
Yeah,
Mm.
that too. And another
Yeah.
thing was, what I was going to ask. Yeah. So you said you did not have, any. Yeah, this is the thing, right? What fascinated me was, okay, here's a person who's not, quit his job with a bulk of savings, with a fat savings, and then who started. What fascinated me was, you need to do something, right? You're still not there where you can, relax and kind of spend the rest of your life. At the same time, you just want to do things not from a business point of view. You also want to serve. So I saw that you kind of combined. You also need to make money at the same time. You also want to serve people, and you have a goal that you want to kind of achieve. So both of these things, to know that you've been doing that for 8 years, is amazing. But I'm not going to jump directly into it and ask you how you did that. I'm going to go back 8 years. When you say 8 years, I think you started FA Hosur in 2015. Am I correct, sir?
2015 December.
2015. Yeah. Can you start off from 2015 December? Like, what was FA Hosur like at that point in time compared to now? And what is the journey from 2015 to 2023 been like?
See, 2015, as I said, the scenario was, there was a little bit of awareness amongst students about doing CA. And all that they know was that the CA is something very difficult, you cannot get through. And people were in a conservative mode that since you always need to have a backup doing a degree course. And this is a place where I found that the mindset of the parents were oriented towards getting their daughters married after 12th. If they don't, uh, you know, there are so many predecessors for me in this part of this country working on cleansing the society, like don't do this early marriage, and send your girl children to schools, all that stuff.
Right.
Um, So this was the scenario, and I never had any statistics with me, with a big business plan, all the stuff. I just jumped, believing only my heart, and also the fact that I had to do something and I had nothing else to do other than this.
Right.
Um, so hardly about 10 admissions from class 12 was into CA Foundation. CA
Right.
Foundation is an exam which is at the entry level for which only the class 12 pass out are eligible. So I
Okay.
need my business is to work on those children.
Right.
Okay, right from their first year or second year of higher secondary education. And such was the output. Only about 10%. There are about 3,000 to 4,000 students, doing studying commerce, and out of which 10 only people are going, and that too they had to go somewhere in either to Chennai or to Bangalore to study CA.
Okay.
Such was the thing, and out of this 10, at least 9 would have been from the background of rich, businessman kind of.
Right.
But certainly, I would not attribute any lineage of the children, no family background of learned people. All this stuff. No,
Right.
it was not. So everything was odd. I think it is providential that I did not look at the numbers as I normally used to look at as a CFO for before I clear any projects in business. Um, in the first year, I admitted about 100 students in the first year itself. Okay, and
Okay.
I went to school after school
Okay.
and motivated the kids there and told them about how easy it could be to do CA. Some
Right.
were enticed. And all that I had to do is to go through about one or two batches to show them the result that it is actually possible by them.
Right.
And it started like that. And 2015 onwards, on an average, I'm covering about, except that Corona periods
Right.
inside. I always had an average admission of 100 students per annum.
Okay.
Okay, that is something 10 times. So this also had I ended up not only inspiring the students, but also some of a few more others who, after seeing me, okay, they also gained confidence and started some training centers.
Great.
The point is that they called me and took my blessings to start their training centers. So I'm very happy that I've been a source of inspiration on all around people, or all kind of people around me.
Got it, sir. Great. So you said, only 10 people started off for CA Foundation, and then you said you admitted 100 students in the first year.
Yeah.
So you said 10 and 100. Am I missing something here?
No, I'm only missing more than 100. So, the point is that they did not know about this fact.
Okay, and
One,
then after you went to schools and once you created awareness, you got more,
yeah,
90 odd people.
correct.
Uh, got it.
Correct. See, I also did one more thing that I presented more to the girl children. Normally, the trend is, when it comes to plus one, plus two, or maybe, it is a trend even higher up, higher education also.
Right,
Girls, girls were the majority, and I mean, girls were mostly after studies,
right.
but the boys were mostly after the girls.
Okay.
So, and the point is that, in place like Hosur, girls were not allowed to study beyond 12 because, no, especially CA, because
Hmm.
they had to either travel to Chennai or Bangalore, which the families were finding out a bit difficult.
Okay.
Since I pitched and I presented my center in Hosur, most of my students, 90% of my students are girls. So I think that is providential where I'm already working. Beyond this FA, I'm working for the cause of development of the women here, and this helped me. So there is the God, I think, has made me combine all my profession, passion, etc. to one.
Got it, sir. Great. Sir, when you started off your academy FA Hosur, how much money was needed for you to start up? What was the capital that you were looking at?
No, actually, in terms of fixed capital, I wanted about 5 to 6 lakhs for the facility deposits for the rented premises, etc. And for the running capital, I had to give salary to the faculties. But I must say that I got a good landlord, who helped me with this. And then, I had set up facilities like, the computers. Some of the equipments were actually gifted to me by my relatives, who's
Great.
who who wanted me to come up fast, who are
Right.
being my well wishers. Computers I set up. No, the another strategy is, apart from picking up the girls, focusing on the girls. The
Right.
other strategy I said is that I will give them entire thing that they would see in a center in Bangalore or in Chennai.
Chennai.
So it is very easy to start off with, okay, these are guys, anyway, rustic guys, and I can afford to put some plastic chair and, hire a school for their classes, use blackboard, all that stuff. No, I hired a projector, a smart board, completely set up a new classroom facility, and then I hired only, you have to underscore that word, only chartered accountants and other similar professions to come and teach Kupsami and Munsami. And I must thank all those CAs and other professionals who never, somehow they trusted and they, aligned with my principle not to do any discrimination, to serve without any discrimination to anybody. So we all combined. The
Right.
forces, universe sent to me all these things. And, I had a big pantry and a coffee day vending machine where Mr. Kupsami will go, sir, class, ரொம்ப tired ஆகுது சார் ஒரு கப் காஃபி அடிச்சுட்டு வரேன் சார், which he could not have imagined anywhere else.
Right.
So I gave the entire thing best. And similarly for the teachers, I motivated them. I have about 20 to 30 teachers. All of them are professionals or doctorates, or one of my teacher uh, at that time was a professor. He's a doctorate in costing. He was a professor in Melbourne University,
Wow. Okay.
right? And now eventually he has moved to take over some position in IAM in India. So I gave them the best. I picked up this value from this man whom I have, at the back of my seat. He is my uncle and my first employer and my role model,
Wow.
who
Okay.
taught me, who has yearned, who is yearning in crores and also gifting in crores. So together, I picked up this not to wait for money to serve people or not to discriminate people when you're doing service, and always go for the best when you know that something is the best. Well, do not even compromise on the quality. So everybody follows this principle. They won't compromise on quality, but they will do that only when they have to get something. Now I did the reverse thing. So when I have to give something, I always ensure the best quality things available to them.
Right.
This is another USP. So the people who had some awareness of the things, how a typical class will do, who could be, how could I think get FA, how could I rate FA, whether they are capable of delivering this and that, all the stuff. No, if the moment they walk into my facility, first thing they will come into my pantry only. Yeah.
Right.
So in a way, I'm reaching, people's heart through their stomachs.
Yeah. No, sir, I was going to talk about it. Very interesting point that you made about having a pantry, because I think once the basic needs of a human being are taken care of, I think automatically we will move on to the next steps, right? Say, for example, one of the things is in empty stomach or when you're hungry, you really can't do much, and probably in a area where a topic like CA, which will be very intense, such small things might go a long way, which I think you're already experiencing, and this could be a amazing insight to people who are listening, if they're having a center, because when you talk about quality, right, quality of teaching is one thing, and quality of infrastructure is another thing, which can be easily forgotten or discounted, saying that all those things doesn't matter. They'll be wrongly looked at as flash and bling and all those things. But I think having a very nice infrastructure, with facilities like what you said, having a pantry is actually quite useful, and it's not just fancy stuff or not flashy stuff. I think that's the important thing from here. But you said you had a faculty of 20 to 30 teachers. Was this the strength when you started off the first year itself? You had 20 to 30.
No, I had about 6 or 7 at that time. They are
Okay,
not there. All those who are there with me were not there now.
got it. And you took up the role purely from an administrator point of view when you started FA Hosur, or you were also part of the teaching services?
I have to be the teacher, one of the teachers, but I cannot be doing all the subjects. People should not come and say, "Oh, out of 8 papers, I need to write. You can only teach only one paper," something like that. Then they will go to a place where they will have everything under one umbrella. So that is why I started something like a Shankar's movie, grand thing. Instead, a typical startup businessman will always start in a small way and then enhance it as he goes along. I
Yeah.
did the ulta. I never wanted to keep my children or clients waiting. So I gave them about I when I started I had two classrooms and a big huge library and about 20 systems and lease line computer lab, yeah, and a projector and straight away in the second month or third month itself I started this internet teaching. My most of my teachers were from Chennai, Bombay, or like I said, Australia.
Right.
So they will come through Skype or something. At that time, Google Meet, Zoom, and all were not there.
Right.
So I started off. So I brought the best and I gave the best available. So therefore, probably I think I have appealed to them. Now when they say oh it's Raghavan, then they're sure of the standard.
Right. Right. Amazing, sir. I mean, in 2015 December is when you started. So 2016 itself, you had online teaching that was
Yeah,
happening, which is
yeah.
amazing. Sir, another question. Curious. You're in Hosur, and even in places like Bangalore or metro cities, language is an issue. The medium of communication is largely English, and for a subject like CA, I'm sure you also use English as a medium of communication, correct? For your
Yes,
students.
yes.
Was that was that easy? Was there any gap to start off with?
Oh, yes, yes. See, for a person to be successful in this part of the world and with the product or service I'm handling, one has to be the biggest challenge is to be, and I will have to show them the results. If already people are coming in only in 20s and 30s and 40s, etc., and I show them result of one or two or seven, which itself is about 10%. It's very good average in terms of when I compare to the national average. National average has always been about 20 to 29%. Now, I've been hitting at least one batch every time to be. I've even like touched 100% result in one batch in
Okay.
one of these 8 years. I've always been way ahead of the national average. Okay, but that's only an indicator. That's that a deplorable one. Anyway, if one has to be so successful, then I will have to have I will have to show the results, but I could not. The reason is English.
Mm.
Yeah, whatever so-called model people are boasting about have spoiled, eroded not only our own mother tongue but also English. Now as I see in the field, now nobody knows any language perfect. And
Mm.
the recent studies as they've shared in the newspapers, Tamilians are very worst in the in terms of proficiency in Tamil.
Okay.
Okay, it's a government study, I think,
Okay.
something like that. I discovered it after a few batches only when I was handling a class for graduates.
Okay.
It was at the next level, CMA and intermediate level. When I discovered that something could be wrong, so I told them, okay, I took up a newspaper, that day's newspaper,
Right.
where, Karunanidhi was alive and he has made a statement that Stalin is his successor. Okay. So the headline went like this: MK says Stalin is his successor. That's all. I asked one of the graduates who's doing intermediate CMA to translate it in Tamil.
Okay.
Okay, so the correct answer would be, I don't want to test you, I myself tell. Correct answer could be, or sorry, would be, கருணாநிதி என்னுடைய வாரிசு என்று ஸ்டாலின் அவர்களை சொன்னார்.
Right.
But the 6 out of 6 students in that batch, graduates, they told me கருணாநிதி தன்னுடைய வெற்றிக்கு காரணமாக ஸ்டாலின் அவர்களை சொன்னார்.
Okay.
It's very pitiable.
Right.
So immediately what I did is that I wanted to respond to this situation. So I engaged an English teacher, and he or she should not be found boring as well. So motivator, come English trainer, and I paid only for those six children for about 6 months. I paid her about a lakh
Wow. Okay.
only to improve. I said, okay, come, let me take whatever it takes.
Right.
Right, and I finally saw that I think three of them have made it. They've become professionals in that batch.
Great.
So what happened is I took up a big cue from that. So I changed, I tweaked my teaching process here. So every time the student comes in, they will go through. He will go through a personal assessment
Right.
just to find out what are his strengths. How does he understand a thing?
Right.
By seeing or by writing or by whatever. And that will give a plan of coaching to the teacher. And then we will also come to know about his English or Tamil, whatever, Telugu. Most of them are Telugu or Kannada here. And they will be, every time the class starts, before that, they will have to go through meditation and pranayama exercises
Wow. Okay.
and, morning session classes. And then afternoon lunch with me. And after lunch, after quite some time, a yoga teacher will come and teach them some basics of yoga, which doesn't disturb them much at this point at that time of the
Okay.
day. And the evening classes will be over, and evening classes after that, periodically a psychologist will come and assess them. Nobody like me is expected to do this.
Yeah.
The parents or the teachers, no one really, they won't even care if I don't do this.
Yes.
This is something which an extra mile I'm taking. Okay, so what happens, even though if I had to wait or I do some children in the process, some students in the process, I am satisfied that I've done a good job. I've given the
Right.
best to the children, and the day will come or the point of time will come, they will be happy about it.
Right. Got it, sir. Great. So you said, the English training, when you realized that, English was a big problem, it went on for 6 months, right? Now, this happened simultaneously while you were teaching your subjects as well.
Yeah.
English was taught for how many hours a day?
No, see what happened. I had to go through the finish that batch, so I had engaged an English teacher for them for 6 months.
Okay.
Afterwards, the teachers who normally teaches other subjects, they will have to push the students through daily newspaper readings, and
Right.
we made them, read the newspapers and then present the current affairs. Every day there will be a session, newsroom session,
Right.
that they will have to do. And then we inserted this presentation process in the education. So every weekend, students will have to pick up some topics and present it. So
Right.
it is not like a typical classroom where the lecturer will come and give some lecture and you take some notes and then get away.
Right.
So they will be able to speak about what they have studied, what
Right.
they were being taught. So that will help me understand their comprehension. The second one is their writing ability, which is very important to pass the CA examination, and
Right.
then their communication. So, I develop my students holistically. I give them some, all round learning. And on top of that, in all my personal social projects, they will be given some roles. So they
Right.
will also know, how whatever they are studying now could be of use to the society.
Got it. Sir, the teacher you hired, right, for 6 months.
Ah,
So you made them, you made the teacher teach all of your children who had come to the center. From that experience you had with that six people,
yeah.
you started something called as personal assessment, where you used to assess them, how much of language they could pick up in communication, all those things. So once you started doing the personal assessment, how many students coming in needed English? Was it majority?
Yeah.
It was majority. and the people.
Even they come from a very good family background,
Right.
or even if they've been taught in a CBSE school for 12 years, I find them lacking in English.
Why do you think so, sir? Where do you think the problem is?
Uh, I don't want to become the enemies of the school student teachers.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Let me, rephrase the question like this. How do you think this can be addressed going forward? How can English also be made an important skill so that when kids graduate 12th standard, they come out good, even, as communicators in English?
See, one is language issue, the other one is the aptitude attitude issue.
Okay.
I'm addressing at the micro level. I'm addressing both by
Okay.
giving them some exercises and then give them a big space to interact with, where interaction without their knowledge will be compulsory for them.
Right.
So
Right.
they have to interact with them, and then I made it a point that they will have to talk and write and read in English. So that way.
Right.
The other thing, if you if you ask me, at the macro level, we need to strengthen. I find the need to strengthen uh, the education system or practice up to the 12th level.
Right. Sir, I think, and do you think this problem is only in Tamil Nadu, or is this all over India, the language problem of English?
I have no big exposure through FA about other states,
Okay.
but based on my interactions, but for sure I can tell, about Karnataka.
Okay.
Karnataka, except the core Bangalore students, where uh, I don't think the situation is any different,
Any
ex-
different? Got it.
except the Bangalore.
Okay.
Uh, but in other states, through the online classes which I had here and there,
Uh huh.
taken for the North side students, uh, at least I don't think that I've come across enough people to make a statement. But
Right.
my experience was that it is the same.
It is the same.
It is the same.
Okay. You pointed out Bangalore, and you said the problem is not as much in Bangalore.
Not as much.
Would you say the same for all metros? Would you say the problem is not there in Chennai?
Yeah, my experience shows. Yeah, in metros, I think at least in Chennai and Bangalore, I don't think that as
That problem is there.
the third one.
Hmm.
The third one is which is common even for Bangalore or even for Chennai.
Chennai. Right.
Is I told you that I've interacted with almost a lakh of students in these last 8 years.
Right.
The Apart from language and attitude problem, the third problem is the lack of knowledge on current affairs.
Hmm.
I must share with you, because you tend to be serious, for quite some time now, last 5-10 minutes. So I must tell you one experience where I went there. It was around the time when Modi brought up this GST. So the one of the colleges hired me uh, to present to the third year BCom students about GST.
Okay.
So since at that time GST was a child, and I didn't have to have do more hard work, so I said okay, readily jumped into it, and I started saying, I wanted to build up. It was an audience of about 500, 600 students, and I wanted to build up the tempo, and I asked them, now I'm going to ask you a very tough question. I'm not sure whether you will be able to answer me correctly, but then you know what? It's something like that.
Right.
Everybody was, I could gather everybody's attention. The whole hall was in pin drop silence. And
Right.
then I asked, who is the Prime Minister of India? I had to ask this because I wanted to say that Narendra Modi, our Prime Minister. blah blah blah.
Right.
Immediately, so many voices rose up, so many hands raised, and then, "No, sir, I will say, sir, I will say, sir, I will say, sir." Then I picked up one third year BCom and asked her, "Okay, you tell." And before she could open her mouth, all her friends joined her and shouted at me, "Sonia Gandhi."
Okay.
And then the heads of the teachers sitting there were down.
Went down. Okay.
You know what? Somehow these people knew that, Manmohan Singh also was not the actual prime minister. Yeah. You see the current affairs. Nobody knows who is the Union Finance Minister of India.
Right.
No one. And I visited one place called Pochampalli to talk to the students there. Pochampalli is the place
It's in
where,
Andhra Pradesh, right?
no, no, no. It is
Tamil Nadu?
in Tamil Nadu where this Ola factory is there.
Okay.
So I asked the same question, expecting the same reply, but then these were children of 12 plus 2 students.
Okay.
And they answered me, Stalin.
Prime
Okay.
Minister.
Prime Minister of India. And then
Okay.
the child sitting next to that girl who answered me, Stalin, just rubbed her off and said, "No, no, D. Stalin is the Prime Minister of Tamil Nadu. He is asking the Prime Minister of India."
Okay.
You know what? You can afford to laugh at it, and then go, Jack. But then I have taken up their costs,
No,
right?
I mean,
So I will have to
sorry,
do
I
a
mean,
final. No, no, no.
can't.
I don't want this. I just, I just wanted to give you an idea about the depth of the
Yeah,
problem cause I've
yeah,
taken.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So you said, current affairs is one problem, but current affairs also is tied back to the language, right? Of course, I'm not saying that there are no media houses in Tamil and all those things in regional languages. We've got newspapers, we've got social media channels and everything. But probably if they have to, okay, it may not tie back to English, but then even in social media, I think what people are inclined to go and see happens to be mostly entertainment and probably not stuff that is related to education or anything that is useful, which brings me to another important problem that every knowledge entrepreneur today is facing, especially online. I'd like to, get your thoughts on it. Yours is at least, sir, it's a very serious topic. Students come with proper. Okay. Let us look at it like this. There are two ways that you can run your course. You can either have students come to the classroom, do live sessions, and then, little bit as supplement, you can create recorded courses and give it to them. But on the other hand, there are companies that want to scale up and they're doing this whole business from a self paced course point of view only. There are no live interactions, there's only recorded videos. Now, in recorded videos, there is something called as course completion rate. People come, they pay money, they buy the recorded courses. That is all. The engagement between the company and the student finishes there. I mean, not literally. The company will still host the courses for them in the platform and everything. The students will have to go and see, but the course completion rate is very, very bad.
Less.
It's very
Very less.
less. Do you think? See, self-paced courses is never going to work. Is that what how you see it, or do you think there could be a solution to this problem?
No, I think, I borrow some of the experts from IIM Bangalore, whose interviews in the YouTube and other TV channels I've come across.
Okay.
Then I feel that somehow the traditional way of, going to the schools up to plus one, plus two, and then joining a college for 3 year degree is going to change.
Okay.
In fact, I don't want to quote that person. He said that, university, all the stuff is going to lose their relevance in due
Okay.
course.
Okay.
Then I related this to a fact that there is a software company here, which is whose market value is about 25,000 crores. They had a strategy in hiring their software engineers. They never went
Hmm.
to colleges and hired any Bs, BTechs, etc. But they picked up a whole lot of plus two students.
You're
Gave
talking
them.
about Zoho?
You want me to name it?
We can, sir. I mean,
Okay,
I
fine,
don't
fine.
think there is.
I'm not sure about that. That's why I said. But
Okay.
the idea of Zoho, I liked it.
Right. Right.
You know what? And what a transformation
Yeah.
the company has given to the lives of so many people. And
Yeah.
where was the colleges and degrees then?
Yeah.
So that gave me a kind of confidence because I've been telling all my about my plight into transforming the lives of the people, Hosurians or any other villages here. I
Right.
deliberately have tied up myself to the tier two or tier three cities. So I will have
Okay.
to start from them. I will have to teach not only the finance subject but also the attitude, the language,
Language.
and the personality, the general knowledge, all the stuff. You
Right.
know, that is why it gives me immense happiness that when I produced one of my students as already a rank holder, and after that, he went a step further in CA education, where he was asked to make a presentation
Right.
in front of in Velur somewhere in front of so many auditors, etc. And the man picked up and then he talked like uh, an experienced speaker.
Right.
And that teacher called me and appreciated me. So that gave me a
Right.
lot of confidence. He's from a place called Krishnagiri.
Yes. Yeah. Krishnagiri is about 100 kilometers from Bangalore.
Yes.
Um, right. Sir, before we move on to talk more about FA Hosur, given that we touched upon English, I'd like you to, share something that will, do you think, I mean, it's a no-brainer that English, even though it's not a knowledge, but it's a tool to communicate. It is the medium of communication. It's a language that connects people. But still, there seems to be a lot of ignorance around picking up the language seriously from the school. Um, uh, Now, I'm not asking you to, address the students here at all. But I think I've not, I'm sure there are a lot of people who are doing it, but I've not come across anybody who's teaching a professional course who's taken up the challenge of teaching people English also. Because without English, how are they going to go and clear the CA exam? Does CA exam also come in regional languages, sir?
Only in Hindi.
Only in Hindi. Then what about the rest of the
No.
people?
No.
So English is a must for them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So anybody who's listening to this, who are teaching subjects related to CA and non-Hindi speakers to non-Hindi speakers, please share a few words as to why they need to start including English also a subject that they should teach, just like the way you did.
No, actually, I must also say that I have a lot of I've seen a lot of YouTubers doing this, English, Telugu, English, Tamil, etc. In fact, we are going to come up with some products like that, bilingual and
Bilingual.
all. But
Great.
then eventually, although I talk to them, I will have to say, வணக்கம் நம்ம இன்னைக்கு income tax பார்க்க போகிறோம். So
Right.
I will have to have English there only.
Ah.
Now, it will not be a good idea for me to say that நாம் இன்றைக்கு வருமான வரியை படிக்க போகிறோம். He
Right.
will, after listening to me வருமான வரி, if he goes to the textbook and say or he has to go and present a case in the court and all etc. That it won't take him beyond far. So it has to be bilingual.
It has to be bilingual,
Bilingual, at least, if not totally.
if not totally English. Okay, it has to be bilingual, and at least if not if not the English that is needed to communicate, at least the English that is needed to clear the subject. The vocabulary that is needed around finance has to be mastered by the students. At least that's a must
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
right? Okay, sir. Great. Moving ahead, we started off as to how you started off FAO sort with a capital of 6 lakhs, and then that was a fixed capital that you needed for your deposit and for all the infrastructure that you have put together. And then you also had a running capital that you had to utilize to pay off your staff members. And when you started off, it was just 6 to 7 faculty members,
Yeah,
and now you are sitting at about 20 to 30.
yeah.
What are the subjects that you started off teaching? And is it the same now, or have you included a lot of other subjects as well as part of what FAOSU teaches?
See, when I started, it was I started for CA Foundation and CA Intermediate. both the
Okay.
levels.
Okay.
And my first batch was for CA intermediate.
Okay.
And my first student attended my class on the first day and then ran away.
Okay.
So everything was odd. I then remembered the story of Ilayaraja. He is a maestro now, but on
Right.
his date of first recording, at the moment, ready, one, two, three, start, the power went off.
Okay.
So all these stories, I kept reading. But that gave me a feeling. Okay, don't worry about this runaway person. You will still get. One bad guy ran away, and there were so many good guys who came and then who had all the trust in me, and they listened to me, and then I was eventually produced this. Yeah.
Right.
So it was for CA foundation and CA foundation, the preliminary and the foundation, the intermediate.
Intermediate.
Yeah. And of course, there are a variety of subjects. I have even taught the CA final people. Of course, it cannot be so regular. Final people can be done on demand basis.
Right.
The meaning is that I've said, like I said, I entered the business like field, with all the grandeur it could have.
Right.
And slowly we added other professional courses like CMA, CS, all those are
Right.
Indian courses. And then we built the language learning and the physical aptitude, etc., as a part of teaching only. So all these people, whoever comes to study here, will go through this.
Okay.
That is one. After that, I'm also into teaching the higher secondary support, plus one
Okay.
and plus two commerce education. And
Okay.
then also have a cell which will help you giving career counseling.
Great. Okay.
It is not only with respect to finance, but anybody can. Okay,
Right.
but certainly not catering. Uh, like that. And then I've added international courses also in my basket. ACCA,
Right.
CIMA, CMA. CMA means US.
USCMA. Right.
US
USCMA,
CMA.
USCPA also.
CPA have not touched.
Okay.
CMA I could do that. CMA also directly we are not doing, but we are relied to experts because I feel that I will have to go. I will have to take some time before
Right.
jumping into it. So I didn't want. I wanted my Hosurians to get introduced to this.
Right.
That there are some. So I've already transformed one person. Who is in CMA.
Okay. Who's doing USCMA?
Yeah, USA. Well, I have a dozen CMA students here from here.
Okay.
If you see their profiles, they are all sons of hawkers, village hawkers, banana vendors.
Okay.
Yeah, they are doing. I'm very
Great.
happy about it.
Great. So,
So to
sir.
answer your question, I started out with CA, CMA, etc. But then I've added plus one, plus two support, degree support, postgraduate support. My
Right.
dream is only, I'm imagining a tagline of for my FA. It should go like this: from plus one to PhD.
Right.
Yeah,
Anything that's related to
finance,
finance and accounting. Yeah.
finance,
So FA stands for Finance and Accounting.
finance academy,
Finance
simple.
Academy, Hosur. Okay, got it. Great. Everything falls under the umbrella of finance. Sir, at this point, you said I'd like to bring in this question from a teaching perspective. But before that, you've included your courses. You've expanded the number of courses that you're offering now by starting off with just CA Foundation and CA Intermediate. Now you're offering USCMA, CMA, and a lot of other things that you said. And you've also gone off the finance thing and you've also gone to the periphery by also addressing people who are already aligned their career towards finance. So you're starting to help them from the grassroots level itself. Plus, you're also planning to go until PhD. Now, from a physical space point of view, you said you started off with 2 classrooms and 1 library. Has that also expanded? Have you moved on to a different place now, to a bigger place now?
No, no.
Okay.
The market changed here.
Okay.
People were asking me for in-campus classes.
Right.
So I really did not have
Mm.
to shift or expand my place. So I'm deputing my teachers to different colleges and schools here where they where we have signed contracts.
Got it, sir. Wonderful.
And
So,
one more
no
thing I
problem.
need to add is that I'm also an authorized training partner of Tally software,
Okay.
and I'm training the students on MS Office,
Okay.
and I'm planning to train people on SAP also.
Oh, great. Okay. Great. Sir, now, you said there are people who come to your classrooms, plus now you are also catering to people who need in campus. And I see the trajectory, where you went from 6 to 7 teachers or trainers to now about 20 to 30 of them. Now, as far as the revenue split is concerned, what is the split? How much revenue do you get from in campus, and what is the revenue that you get from your center?
No, as on today, see, it is actually batch wise, Jack. Every
Okay,
6 months. No, the current batch, I have 90% in campus.
90% in campus, only 10% come to your center.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm sure this is more convenient to you, right?
No, I don't make a choice yet.
Okay, fine.
I'm adapting myself to whatever is a need.
Okay. No, what I meant when I, told you was, now are you focusing more on getting more colleges contracted with you, so that this is how you expand. But, okay, fine. So the awareness at that level itself is there now for you to go. But before you used to go to institutes and then you used to
Correct.
go. So that's changed somewhat now.
Correct.
Is that
Correct.
correct?
Correct.
Okay, great. Sir, what about online? Is there a separate market for online?
Of course, yes. Of course. But
Okay.
the point is that if I say I have online classes, there are so many players. I have been inspired by many players in the Indian market who
Right.
who are into teaching CA online.
Right.
But they are all my big brothers. But for my or kind of people, online is not giving them that confidence.
Okay.
You know what? My strategy is to get into contracts with educational institutions like schools and colleges.
Okay.
And then after some time, because my teachers are being well spread, across
Right.
the country and in fact from the globe, other countries as well. So
Right.
I will have to necessarily make it online to start with at least one or two subjects,
Okay.
familiarize them with a mix of
Right.
online and offline classes, and then
Right.
move on to a ready-made product. I don't want to do something which the other people are always doing, but self-paced thing, this, that, all this
Right.
stuff.
Right. Right.
But then at the same time, I cannot be without them as well. So
Right.
I'm in this process of studying how to fix it to suit my context.
Got it.
But
Uh,
world over, the success rate for online classes is lower than the success rate for direct classes.
Traditional way of
Yeah,
teaching. Got it.
traditional way still remains. There's one area where online classes could be of use to be directly effective to
Okay.
be directly is that executive education. We are into executive education also. We are
Right.
going to sign up some big time contracts now.
Mm-hmm.
There, after that, I'm going to have a feel of how it goes, and then we will be concentrating on developing a executive education center online. That's a very
Got it.
safe market, and the maturity level of the students will be very high,
Right.
and then it will become imperative for them to go through this class positively because they'll be denied their promotions, etc.
Right. Right. Right.
So with that backing me up, I can always venture into uh, self-paced programs or recorded classes or even live classes for them.
Got it, sir. Sir, coming back to in-campus, you're only covering your region, Hosur, or you've also, gone out of Hosur or out of state? as of now? Have you?
Yeah, I can say that, I've gone out of state, but the fact remains that I'm only 50 kilometers away from Bangalore. I am,
Technically, yeah.
yeah, technically, yes, and I'm an affiliate of at least two colleges there.
Okay,
And other than that, I've gone beyond Hosur also. Hosur schools, Krishnagiri schools, and made some roadshows to schools across Tamil Nadu.
great.
They are a different profile. The student profile remains, they're a bit indifferent. They're still scared. I think, if I were to remove their scare in one go, I will have to hire Rajini.
Okay. So from whatever you've shared with me, I can clearly see that it's mostly traditional way of coaching that's going on. Teachers are going in campus 90%. You're teaching classroom style and all those things. Do you have any plans of creating content like videos, self-paced courses? Do you have any plans? If you do have plans, why do you have those plans? Considering that self-paced courses are not anyways working.
See, I'll tell you what, I will not say that self-paced course is working. It doesn't suit, the people are not yet mature to make use of it.
Okay.
And like I said, the profile of the students from the executive education segment suits very well.
Okay.
You and I will be serious to take a course on Udemy, right?
Right. Right.
Or Coursera, or something like that. No, we will be, all those. I'm damn sure of all those married guys who will go for self-paced courses. They don't want to. They want to not only work from home but also learn from home. Uh, but the majority of my students are children of doing their first year or second year higher secondary. So
Right.
they will be they are choosing to see Nayantara on their mobiles than my classes.
Right. Right.
Okay, and they will be interested in Vignesh Shivan's affairs than the current affairs. Okay,
Right.
so I will have to entice them, and this is possible only if I'm there in front of them.
Okay.
So, like I said earlier, then I'm only planning. In fact, I've hired some people to frame a syllabus for my online thing only.
Okay.
The methodology will differ for
Mm-hmm.
sure because
Mm-hmm.
given the profile of the students from this place, like I said, no, how can I sell a recorded classes and work on correcting their attitude?
Right.
Okay, so there are some challenges like that, and certainly I said, no, it's not a thing that you can do away with. In my view, it takes time.
Got it, sir. I mean, you don't have to go too deep. Just from a high level, what are the major differences that needs to happen in self-paced courses as compared to face-to-face teaching? For example, do you think we need to introduce some humor, or I don't know. I mean, is that the kind of changes that you're looking to do, or what is, if not, what are the other sorts of changes in terms of the methodology of teaching, sir?
No, if you ask me, I'm still working on my pedagogy for
Okay,
online.
the self-paced courses. Got it.
Yeah, I myself I would like to get some clarity. My teaching is a bit niche.
Right,
How do I? But whereas if you ask me, if I'm a CBSE teacher and I need to teach physics or uh, trigonometry, etc., then I can always do a lot of visuals, like
right,
what is available in the market.
right,
It's a bit difficult for me to do that, adapt this to my subjects.
right,
Yeah.
right,
So if you ask me for the success point of self-paced course for CA education, then you obviously know you need to have a lot of visuals.
right,
Yeah. And then there has to be a proper mix of live, at least live and self-paced course.
right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Uh,
Hybrid. Got it, sir.
for some more time, I think this will do.
Makes sense. Sir, a while ago, you spoke about, there's this software company or many software companies, they're not relying on hiring from institutions or some proper traditional places, and then they're just training. They're just picking up people who finished at +2, and then they're training and they're taking them right now. Let's say now, okay, first of all, that is a different domain altogether. That's the domain of the software. Now, do you see that happening in this domain of commerce and finance also?
See, the professional courses are designed even in India, not now, earlier also,
Right,
that they can be taken up after their 12th standard.
right,
So, which means if they have to prepare, hit it in their first go, they will have to start preparing this from at least 1 year earlier. So,
right,
from their 11th standard, they can study.
right.
If you take up international courses like ACCA, they do have a program for students of 11th standard itself.
Okay,
So all my big brothers have the trust in the 11th standard students. So why not? Why not be?
okay.
Okay. Um, I'm sorry. I'll have to get back to the question again.
No, I meant, how software companies are directly going to 12 standard students,
Yeah.
taking them, training them, and then deploying
Got
them
it.
in the projects. Can that
Got
be
it.
done here also?
Got it. Got it. Yes. I myself have placed one of my students who did not do her graduation but finished the
Okay.
CA. Her father is a CNC lathe operator. I mean, subcontractor training. And mother is a government school teacher. And
Wow.
now I've placed her in a multinational company.
Oh,
They
okay.
come here. The company is manufacturing Citroen cars. She's no more with the company now. She got married and moved away.
Okay.
But imagine the transformation happened in our case.
Right. Great.
Yeah,
So,
and she did not
uh,
do her graduation.
need not. So, the CA certificate is completely different from the degree certificate.
Yeah, yeah. And CA. Once you become a CA, you are considered as per the directives of UGC that you have done something equivalent to master's program.
Oh, like 12 plus 4, 16 years of
Yeah. So
you cross it.
it is considered equivalent to a master's MCOM, something like that. So that is one thing which is not even reached many of the students here.
Hmm.
So, but even otherwise also, the mere tagline that I'm a chartered accountant will make you take up any job. It is only the prerogative. In fact, for the same person, same student, a big company to whom originally I sent this girl as a candidate, rejected because they did not. She did not have BCom degree. I said, don't
Okay.
worry, the market is already hiring. And then eventually she landed up in this company, the car manufacturing company,
Okay.
and she was able to grow up to some extent there.
Okay. Got it. But the majority of students traditionally, what they do is those who are aspiring to become CAs, they still do their degrees. So they consider the degree as to some sort of a backup because CA passing percentage is very minuscule. That's the reason.
Yeah, yeah. So this is where now I'm playing another role.
Okay.
I make them, take up risk or be aggressive in their lives. All those students who have some academic record of that after cutoff percentage, I
Right.
put them only for, I recommend only for CA.
Okay.
But if I get any average student, then I will suggest them to do degree parallelly. Okay,
Right.
but I run a risk of losing my CA student in that case because you know what, CA if they fail,
Right.
they will always think that okay, we'll see that later on and we will finish that. They will finish this BCom, so they will naturally go with the um, uh, comfort course, whatever is comfortable to them.
Right.
They will eventually not run up as CAs as well. Okay, so I run the risk, but still I suggest, at least to considering the case of the boy or girl, I will have to give them life. I'm not doing, we are teaching center trainer.
Right.
So I somehow feel that maybe I'm a bit foolish. I somehow feel that I'm responsible for many lives,
Right.
and therefore I recommend, you know, uh, degrees for such class of students
Got it, sir.
who have
Yeah.
low attitude, who are not aggressive, who are scared, and who are average marks, etc. And those people they do, and they take time to finish CA because CA is structured like that.
Right. Right. Sir, now, especially after you brought up the topic of in-campus training that's happening, I want to ask you a question. This is related to so many things, right? The to all the aspiring finance related educators out there, who might want to set up something. Now, there used to be a time when a certain percentage of people who were doing their BCom used to do CA, foundation and articleship and all those things. But now, when you say there is an in campus need, that means anybody who's doing BCom is giving it a shot at CA. Am I correct? Most of them, the numbers have increased largely. Is that correct?
So in campus means I'm talking about the schools also. Even in the plus one, plus two, we have some
Okay.
products where
Okay.
I can start teaching them CA
Got it.
even when they are doing their first year higher secondary.
Got it. So that's what it says. So for those who are teaching CA related subjects or CA related, whatever it is that surrounds CA, the student acquisition now completely there is a shift, because before privately you used to have students come and join your academies or who are doing this, but now you're tying up with the colleges and schools. Now that route is slowly coming down, and this is the more scalable approach. Is that correct?
I would say so, yes, because the diffidence factor plays a
Right.
role.
Right.
People are still scared
Hmm.
that what will happen if I don't pass CA foundation now. So I will go for college. Okay, so I'm chasing them.
Right. Got it, sir. So, okay, now here's another question surrounding this, in-campus training, because it is not directly under your control. You need to approach schools, colleges, and all those things. And for all those people who are listening to this, and the trend is changing, wherein it is going from a point where you used to advertise directly to public, get students to join your academy. But now, when the college itself is offering or school itself is offering, why would people want to come and join private academies? So you're forced to go and approach institutions. So, what are schools looking for? What would you like to say to people who are listening? How to win such contracts? What is the key here while you approach schools for partnerships?
No, for schools it is a differentiate.
Okay.
Nowadays you've been seeing for quite some time that every school advertises that they do classes for NEET and JEE, etc.
Right, right. From the 8th standard itself or something like
Yes, I don't torture kids from their age standard, but when it comes to plus one plus two level, it is safe to start. It's very good enough to start. I will have to not only the numbers I will have to put them in their heads, but also I will have to build the resilience into their wheels. Okay, so
that.
it will also give me some time for them. One. So on the school side, it is a key differentiator for them.
For the schools.
For
Okay.
the schools, yes, for the school,
Okay.
and for me also, it will be a good opener for my online. So what will happen if I have if I'm having some remote, colleges
Right.
to whose students I will have to teach. Yeah, so there will be some point of time when I have to start doing all these things, by beaming classes from my center.
Right. Got it. So now, see, going back a few years, CA was probably, of course, few people, in the family, if they were CAs, they'll have guidance. They would have started off in their plus one, plus two, and all those things. And people, first generation CA pursuing people would have started in their BCom. Now it is coming down to plus one, plus two. As you said, NEET JE is coming down to 8th standard. Now, how do we look at this? Do we look at this as the education system finally catching up? Do we look at this as a education system finally catching up with what is going to work for students in life, and they're tweaking the curriculum from the start itself? Or are students being taken away that natural flow of education that happens in their young life, and they're already being pressured from a very young age? How do you see this?
I don't think there's any. What is that? If pressure is in schools, if you think if you say CA is giving them pressure, I would say colleges are giving them pleasures. I don't know what is there in smoking and flirting, all the stuff. Yeah, I don't think these days people. What is there to cherish about conducting culturals, etc. But whereas I'm offering the same thing with some high standard in my center, there's always some projects or some shows or events. In fact, one of the events at a different level, Mr. Neeraj, your co-founder, I don't know his designation, he also has attended. He had spoken in that gathering.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't buy that idea. Probably I passed my college days. So I keep this answer only for elite questioners like you.
Okay, sir. Now, from what you shared so far, you said that, you kind of, uh, uh, for you in 2015 itself, when you had only 10 students come and approach you for your classes, you got the rest of the people by creating awareness in schools, which gave you an opportunity to go and build a rapport with the school people and build connections, referrals, network, and all those things. So you probably, when now you need to go and do an in-campus thing, it may not be a very difficult thing for you. Probably for you, whatever you did in the past, it's helping you get these contracts easily, or tie up with schools and institutes. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But to people out there, who may not have done all these things, who are probably not great salesmen, or who are not great at communicating with people, building relationships, who are only good at CA and who can only teach, how do these people tackle this situation of going and tying up with educational institutions? Are now schools directly going and hiring people who just passed CA, or are they open to people being approaching them? Do they choose, or is it happening in a rotation policy, or how is it going on, sir, in schools and institutes right now?
No, I'm not clear. You are talking about those CAs who want to teach. How
Yeah.
do they face this salesman? Okay, let
Yes,
them
yes,
tie up
yes.
with me.
Okay, great. But generally for entrepreneurs, who are looking to go crack a contract with a educational institute or a school, what do the schools or the educational institutes look for people who are approaching them like this? What are the things that they need to take care of before they go and approach schools and institutes for such a type?
See, the one thing which the schools expect from people like me
Right.
is that they should we should show results.
Right.
Okay, so which is quite not possible.
Okay.
With about 10% result in any batch being assured. Okay, it vary from 0 to 10. Somebody
Right.
says 10% result I've given, then I would salute them. Even though it remains a fact that I've done 100% in some of the batches.
Okay.
But it is still a challenge because the country average is 25 or 24.
So you mean to say if there are 100 people from India taking the CA exam, only 25 people pass?
Yes.
75 people do not pass. Okay, fine.
Yeah. For various reasons. I'm not saying that these 25 are the only bunch of good students.
Right.
Out of the 75, there are people they failed more because of fear.
Mm.
You
Okay.
see, I'm converting. I put up a process and I've hired people to do this exactly this conversion of the 75 into and then add them to this 25. So my scope of work is a bit large.
Right.
I'm reaching out to their parents and then tell them. In fact, I've fallen at the feet of one of the parents who, decided to put her into a Tata company for a job. Put her daughter who was studying
Okay.
with me.
Okay.
Halfway through, when she has to write her intermediate exam, after
Right.
so much of work, her father said, "No, no, I'm into debt. So you go to a company, Tata company here, join
Mm-hmm.
them, and give me 15,000 per month."
Okay.
So it so happened, and then I went and talked to the parents, tried to convince them. I even did some drama of falling at their feet. Nothing worked.
Okay.
So this is one. See, one is the indifference from the parents. So most of the schools, they wanted to show, they want to advertise that they are different from the others in at least in their region, and for that they will start off. What they will look at you is to give them the results. Second, continuity in your delivery.
Hmm.
Okay. And third, of course, the quality of it. They most of them won't be able to judge your quality, but at least the intuition will never will always help them. People are matured enough to assess a person. So if you are you a good communicator? I won't say not all CAs are good communicators, or you cannot say that all good communicators are good CAs.
Good CS, right?
So it is only a matter of one is that your commitment, the methodology, and the quality of teachers.
Right.
Yeah, this is what they say, and plus of course the results. But if you are sure of all these first three things, then the result will be a result. Okay,
Got it,
so
sir.
in my case, you know what, since I've already strategically planned to hire only CAs even for doing this, I've gone, I've done this even before income tax requirements have come surfaced and all.
Okay.
And one more thing which I wanted to tell you is that I'm working not only in the transformation of students, but
Hmm.
also transformation of my teachers.
Okay.
I want them to compulsorily. I have a separate yoga program for them, and then MDP, like faculty development programs for them.
Hmm.
And then I have a separate library for them. I insist that every teacher has to write a book on the subjects they are teaching. They are
Right.
just teachers. They're not they're not even some of them are not even thinkers.
Right.
I've made them write books and I've published them.
Right.
And some of the teachers I'm supporting them for doing their MPhils and PhDs.
Okay.
So I'm investing, in the expectation that at least not, if not to me, but to the students at least, they will do a quality job.
Got it,
Well,
sir. Great. Sir, do you foresee at some point, right? Now, we've moved from a point where students used to go for private centers to get CA coaching. Now there is in campus happening. In the future, do you see that schools are going to directly hire teachers to train students in CA Foundation Intermediate? Do they are they going to hire in their payroll itself? And will there be a threat for private educators like you?
no, I don't think so. Everybody will
Okay.
have their rice written on their names written on the rice.
Okay.
There will be a change. Like when I started my private center, the system changed.
Right.
I will have to adapt it, and there will be a way for me to adapt it also. So
Right.
how I foresee this is that definitely there are cases where schools have started. They have brought me and hired some of the practicing chartered accountants, but they could
Okay.
not make it.
Okay.
And that school did not want to give up on the initiative, and they engaged their own teachers
Mm-hmm.
to train their students.
Okay.
Okay, in CA. Well,
Okay.
that again, like I said, a CA cannot be a good teacher, or a teacher cannot be a good CA. So
Right.
that is why I insist in my teaching method. I follow a two-layer teaching fraternity or faculty, two-layer faculty system.
Right.
Like the lecture content, etc., would be given by the CS,
Okay.
and the daily doses of you know practice, doubts, clarifications, etc., will be handled by the teachers who normally teach high secondary level.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
teachers know the psychology of
Right.
the students. CA know finance and how to do how to tell that, etc. Right.
Got it, sir.
As long as this is going to be like this, no school can be a competitor to. Okay,
Got it.
and that too, schools can come only up to foundation,
Mm.
and you're not a CA just because you're past foundation.
Right, right.
That's why there's always a patch of grass for me.
Got it, sir. That was clear. Your answer was pretty clear. Sir, now, we spoke in depth about, how these in-campus partnerships are happening, and that's the way you're primarily teaching a lot of students now. Coming back to your private teaching, where students come to your academy, straight away without you tying up with schools. What is the kind of marketing that you do? Do you even put an effort there, or is it already a word of mouth and referrals? How is it going on that side?
No, it's a mix of everything. You can see me inside the newspapers
Okay,
frequently.
okay.
In fact, have you ever driven on the highways from city to city? Kind of. Do you have that experience? So on the way,
Yes.
if you see on the village side,
Recently, I went to E Road via Krishnagiri, Hosur. And all.
acha, acha. So you went to collect the money distributed by many. Okay. So on the way, you can see many walls of homes, like
Yeah.
Ram, Vetigal, this, that.
Yes, 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 yes.
Like that, some houses have even painted by institutions there. I've gone to that level.
Amazing.
I've given
Amazing.
banners, etc. I've done local TV shows also.
As
TV,
part of your marketing initiatives.
yes.
Great. Okay.
Okay, the only thing is that I always involve the teachers fraternity of all teachers of all the local schools here.
Okay.
So who would not like to see their face on the TV? Okay, so
Yeah.
that is an opportunity for them, like you are giving me now.
Yeah. Okay, sir. I mean, that's a different topic. I'm not going to fight you on this. I'm just going to take this, your humor.
Yeah, okay.
But this is great because this is a very insightful thing, especially for people who may not be in major cities, who might be in smaller cities or upcoming cities. It is a great thing for you to go to the periphery of your town and then engage in marketing activities just like what you did, coming on TV and coming on newspaper and painting on these the walls of the houses that are on the highways and stuff like that. It gives a lot of visibility and stuff. Great. But what about social media, sir? Do you also actively spend money on social media marketing?
I've spent a little and burnt. So
Okay.
now I'm sitting, going back
Hmm.
and studying this.
Hmm.
Going to come back with that. You cannot be doing away with that. So
Right.
SMM is a thing, order of the day. So I will have to do that. Very little money left with me.
Hmm.
So I'll have to be very cautious.
Great.
So,
But one thing what I understood is you definitely do believe in marketing and, yeah, from whatever you said so far, that is great to know. And some of the things that I've heard today from you, I've never heard it from anybody else. Maybe the reasons will be different, but I'm glad this is a topic that I'm talking with you. And, I'm glad that people are listening to these kind of things also and they can give it a try. Even people in cities, they can go and give it a shot. Probably there are local cable TVs and all those things. Visibility is visibility at the end of the day. So
yeah,
now,
in fact, I was a bit childish to attempt. I went and met one, government initiative in this regard, but I was not successful.
okay.
I wanted to use their TV
Uh-huh.
and get an exclusive slot for my classes.
Okay.
I was trying to reach out to Tata Sky. I failed in that. Not failed means I have not focused it now. I've dropped
Hmm.
the idea. But
Hmm.
I find that there is a channel in Tata Sky, the Tata Sky classroom itself. It's by name
Right.
Tata. Every channel has that. I
Huh.
wanted to do that. And if
Okay.
I'm not successful, I had a backup plan of going through the local cable TV channels here.
Okay. Did
Yeah.
you make any attempt
No, I
in
couldn't.
that direction?
No. By the time I had this idea, this set-top box thing happened. So I could not. The local TV channels are not that enticing.
Okay, sir. Got it. Sir, now I'm gonna, touch upon some of your numbers and stuff like that. Let's see, what we can bring out. But I mean, I'm not gonna go and it's not like. But from what you said so far, I realized that you spent quite some money in your infrastructure as well. You spoke about having pantry, you spoke about having very good classrooms and facilities, and then as we spoke, you also told that you not only teach what's your domain. It's just finance academy, but then you're also teaching students English, yoga, and a lot of other curricular activities, extracurricular activities. Plus, for your faculty, you have a lot of programs. I wonder, after doing all this, are you still profitable?
No,
You're not?
no, no.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing it in a small scale. See, all these ventures are normally on their own normal things for biggies. But
Right,
all the biggies in this domain now are bleeding. They're not successful.
right,
See, all those who are successful, they will have to pay through their nose to the faculties, and they will always hire some school classrooms, etc. All this stuff. But now I give them an ambience of a elite college or elite school,
right.
and obviously with the same numbers coming up from any tier two or tier three cities, it won't make. But remember, these are all seeds I'm sowing now.
Okay.
I will take some time. I will definitely be profitable. I will take some time. But I don't think,
Oh,
for that matter, anybody is doing the great now. Any educational institution, they're all bleeding.
oh.
At
Okay.
least
You
I'm
have not
happy.
been profitable in your last 8 years of running this business.
Yeah, there were a couple of years before Corona came in.
Okay.
After that, things have changed, and people saw me after 2 3 years, and I will have to remind them who I was. Uh, Kind of a thing.
Hmm.
So it has its difficulties. I need to pick up.
Got it, sir.
Very sorry,
So,
I'm very bluntly saying the truth.
oh, no, 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 not at all. I mean, these are the kind of truths I think this conversation, aims to at least bring out for all the people who would have been listening and who would have thought you're profitable. It might be a bit of a downer for them at this point.
No,
It might also,
that is because of the volumes. I need to see the volumes. You see, for before a manufacturing companies when it starts, it will be ready and it will spend all its money on its factory, machines, technology, all the stuff, and then it will take a year or two for them to make money. Okay, definitely. So that year or two is yet to come. Before
got it,
Corona, I was for whatever I'm doing, I was profit.
got it, sir. Now I think this is very important, at least for people who are like listening. What how have you managed to stay afloat despite for the majority of your journey being not profitable? And what are the before entering into such businesses, what should or what should people ensure to do so that they remain afloat, because they need to live to see that day of profit, right? That itself is a challenging thing. So how do they ensure that?
See, the reason for me, when I'm saying I'm not profitable, no, I'm saying I'm not saying that I'm in red. Okay,
Right,
so
right.
I'm not enough profitable enough. That's what I meant.
Okay,
Okay,
okay, got it.
there is scope for people to make money. The
Hmm.
reason for me not being that profitable that quickly is because, as I explained you, I'm working on. I've chosen deliberately because of my values reasons. Chosen to work only on tier two, tier three cities.
Right, right.
So, but I would suggest anybody who's venturing into this to have a center or two in areas where they can see some money first.
Right.
Okay, that is a different financial strategy. I can always help them out and build them separately.
Got it. And in the 8 years you've traveled, your revenues have always been in the rise.
Yeah, except for those Corona factors, Corona years.
Corona years. So usually, sir, the trend that I've seen with people who've been running educational academies during that period of the lockdown and the pandemic, they have seen an upsurge of online training and online students enrollment and all those things. What was it for you? What was it like for you?
I had to continue one existing batch during the Corona period for 1 year, and in the second year I started one. I had to shift one direct class into online class. With
Okay.
right, there are two batches. I had success in the first case where I had taught most of the subjects in my direct classes. It's only a
Hmm.
patch up class that time. So that was a bit successful.
Okay.
Yeah. And the other one was a flop because, for the first time they are getting into online education, even
Online.
for their
Right.
classes.
Yeah.
And, this being a very niche subject, it was very difficult. And you know what? You must have experienced this also. Most of the cameras would have been shut during the class time.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, like you usually ditch your boss. They were ditching my teachers, right?
Right.
So it took me some time. So
Got it, sir.
now they're back, and the trend I feel is that they feel like coming to directly to the classes only.
Okay.
In a couple of years from now, I think even time to time they also will.
Got it. And when it comes to pricing or the fees and all those things, how did you arrive at whatever fees or whatever that you charge? Did you see your competitors? Did you see the national players, or did you see your region specific pricing is what you did?
No, pricing is not something specific to the region.
Okay.
So I think there are some players even in the metros who have come down on who have come below my price levels. The
Okay.
only thing is that I did not increase my prices. Whatever I was charging as fees, from the start, I still do the same thing. Whereas some of them have increased their prices for their direct classes.
Okay.
Some of them, who found it difficult, they shifted to online classes and made money. I didn't want to do that compromise. So I'm stuck to this pricing. And in fact, for the ATS, one good news is that, you know, remember my average fees is 25,000,
Okay.
and I have taught nearly 500
Okay.
in these 8 years, and
Right.
my bad debts is only about 40,000 rupees.
Sorry, your what?
Bad debts, the
Okay.
money
It's
which
only
is 40,000.
okay.
Yeah, that
So,
shows that the pricing. There's nothing wrong with pricing.
sir, what is bad debts?
Bad debts is something which as your student is supposed to pay the fees, but they're not paying. It goes uncollected.
Wow, that's
You
great.
know, yeah,
I mean,
it is something which is again a blessing for me.
surely, because no, that not only says that your pricing is right, but I think, say for example, this happens right in some academies. What they do, students, they join, they're okay with the fees and all those things, and they wouldn't pay the fees initially. And there would be academies that would be kind enough to let them attend the classes for 10 days. The students'
I'm
mindset of the
I,
parents.
I'm one of them.
Exactly, exactly. Now, after you doing that also, out of now what we are talking about, 500 students into 25,000 is a crore under 25 lakhs, out of which 40,000 is bad debt, is a testament that nobody is coming. If they would have come in with that mindset also, they've carried on to continue and finish your course by paying the fees, because a lot of academies see where students are not happy after a week and they would simply abscond without paying the fees, right? That's the time that they would take. I'm sure bad debts in other places would be way higher than what you have. So that is great.
Yeah, because the one thing is the environment is enticing
Right.
here. The people will always like to be in this center. Um, you know, just give me a second. Just give me a second.
Sure, sir, take your time.
Okay, I'm back.
Great. Sir, I think this is a great point that you made. To all the people who are listening, one of the important points you made was, of course, it's interesting that you brought up this point more than anything else. That means I am assuming that you are saying, look, your quality of imparting knowledge has to be at a certain standard. That's a given. There's no compromise on it. Above that, you also have to have your environment, your infrastructure up to a certain standard where students like spending time there and not running away and going into their houses. That could also be a factor. I think that has been an important factor for you. I think if people who are listening, especially who are running classroom trainings, if you are looking for something that can enhance your student retention rate or your admissions rate, I think your work on your infrastructure and probably add in some basic facilities like a pantry for some coffee and snacks and stuff like that. I think especially students who are in their teenage and little early 20s, I'm sure they'd all love this, and that could also be a reason. It need not have to be the sole reason. I mean, in that case you're failing in your business, but if that can kind of enhance on top of your good quality education, if you can add that, I think it can be a huge thing, and that's what I'm
See,
taking away from this conversation also.
yes. See, what happens if somebody, I do get some parents who come here and negotiate. I said,
Okay.
I'm very sorry, I won't come down on my price. You come and see my classes.
Right.
Okay. And then the second thing that they will ask me to do is, okay, why not a demo class?
Mm.
I said, bullshit. I
Mm.
said this very same thing to them.
Right.
Okay, so I may be sitting like this, and I will have an office people, all the stuff to collect, and then a process accountant, all the stuff. That doesn't
Right.
mean that I'm a vendor. I am your guru. So
Right.
somewhere I'm able to impress upon the parents that I'm not doing any business kind of a thing here. You will have to come and pay the fees and then take the course and trust me. Like I'm trusting you, you will have to trust me. So
Right.
somewhere I know I'm able to drive the car. I've never come down on my prices. I will tell them point blank that I can give you time.
Right.
I'm still taking up that risk on me. When
Right.
I say that I'm giving you time,
Hmm.
but touch wood, all of them happen to be the serious students. And those who have failed me on this 40,000 or about six students who are coming from very, very poor background.
Got it. Got it.
You must remember, out of these 500 students I've taught them so far,
Right.
this midday meal scheme in Tamil Nadu schools,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
One of the cook's son is an intermediate student with me.
Wow. Okay.
I've given him free education.
Hmm.
Yeah. And one Purohit's daughter, her father's profession is only Purohitam.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
Purohit's daughter is now an employee of Schneider. She was, during her training, she was audited for Chennai Airport, Bangalore Airport, Leela Palace, seven-star hotel, and things like that. People are saying that.
Right.
And I'm not doing a menial job. So
Right.
it has changed their lives. So I was able to influence that, and that probably made them believe and have that faith with me. And you
Right.
see many of the players in the market, all the self-paced courses, they will say 10,000, then strike it off and offer it for 399.
Right.
Would you ever believe that? I don't believe anybody who's coming down on their prices. So God, it's a blessing that I didn't have any. I have never gotten into such kind of tricks to entice my students.
Got it, sir. No, that's. I think that's always been reflective of the way of whatever you've shared. All the things that you've shared has been reflective of that. Now, this also has its own cons. You're very clear about you want to do it in a certain way, and you might not have seen the kind of money that the others are seeing, but that's okay with you, and you are pretty confident that down the line you're going to see that kind of money as well. But sir, has there been a point when you've been in need of funds, and if yes, how have you managed to raise it?
Angel fund, angels, angels in my family.
Right. That's what I was expecting.
Can
Okay.
I be open with you, Jack?
Yeah, sure, sir. Please.
And the biggest source for me was my wife, who had to
Okay.
sell her jewels.
Right. Right.
Tamil Sonana, the only jewel that only nage she has is her punnage. So not, I believe that it will not go waste, and I will get back one day.
Okay.
But
Just
when it
just for the
comes,
sake of the people who are listening who don't understand Tamil, I think this was pretty interesting and easy for me to translate. Nagai in Tamil means jewelry, and punnagai. So punnagai means delight or
smile, smile,
happiness, smile.
smile.
But it doesn't mean the same. So what Srinivasan was telling was that the only nagai, the only jewelry his wife is left with is the punnagai, is the smile, and not the jewelry nagai. So, which goes on to say that that is how he's raised his funds, and great, sir, got it. Sir, just from a general entrepreneurship perspective, some questions for you, right? About your journey. What are the ups and downs? What are the most low moments that have because entrepreneurs have to go through the moments which will be like really low, depressing. How did what were those moments? When were those, and how did you manage to come out?
Yeah, I still remember when in one of my earlier batches, my first two batches were a failure, total failure.
Okay.
I see. I'm a corporate guy,
Hmm.
so I've taken to teaching first time. I've always tasted success in all my ventures.
Right.
So now comes the fact that after two batches are a total failure. I shut
Hmm.
down. I did not take my food. In fact, I was in tears. And
Okay.
it is then God sent me one of my friends who's a great teacher, educationist,
Mm-hmm.
and she came and told me that Raghavan, don't take it personal.
Hmm.
You have done your job, and then all that you have to see is to know, okay, how to make them click. You still have another attempt. And for me, because of this emotional thing, people saw that I'm taking pride in whatever I'm doing. I'm taking
Right.
responsibility fully.
Right.
So they all surrounded me, about 16 of them, promised me that they will clear. And eventually they worked so hard. They took everything that it takes. And in the next exam, they all cleared.
Wow. Okay. So when you said your first two batches were a flop, nobody cleared. That's what you meant.
Nobody cleared. Nobody cleared.
Okay.
Nobody
And the
cleared.
same batch of students cleared it next in the next
Yes,
attempt.
yes, yes.
Wow. Okay.
Normally they're called as repeaters batch.
Right.
And that gave me an insight that every time I have a failed student, I will call upon that student and talk to the parent, etc., and so that I'll give them some reassurance
Right.
and teach them free of cost for the next attempt.
Got it, sir. Sir, a quick backtracking about teaching here. You come from, of course, your family's got all great teachers. That's what you said. But you yourself do not have any experience teaching. And you straight away, after your corporate experience, you jumped into teaching. Now, as a teacher, what were the skills? I mean, as a SME, it's one thing. But as a teacher, what were the skills that you found yourself lacking, and how did make up for it? Did you even, or were you a natural?
No, see, I think I must give to the second aspect of it. It was natural for me to.
Mm,
I love people, meeting people. I love talking to them. I love giving them
right.
all
Right.
the stuff. The other thing is that what I seriously lack in that is that if you ask me, uh, I cannot, I don't have the patience to go through the latest question papers, the question paper pattern, how they will ask questions, how to make all the stuff. Nothing. I have
Mm,
no
mm,
patience. So probably I will still have it done through my colleagues.
mm.
But for me, I don't know this. I know how to present a concept,
Right.
and I know how the students are able to receive it or not, or
Right.
I know how to make them receive it.
Right.
That is what I'm doing.
Right.
So what people are fascinated about my class is that for the same topic which schools take about 1 month or 2 months to teach them,
Right.
I will teach the same thing in 15 minutes or 30 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
I'm very proud to say that
Okay.
15 minutes, those who are into the field, they can understand
Hmm.
that there is a topic called bank reconciliation statement, which normally,
Okay.
either the school skips,
Hmm.
or even if they teach, they will take about a month or so.
Wow. Okay.
That I will, teach the students here in about 15 to 30 minutes time.
Okay.
And they will not be able to believe it, and that's how they will commit to it. But if you ask me to sit through them, take them step by step, etc., which is the normally teachers.
Right. Right. Right.
So I'm neither a finance guy nor a teacher, so I'm somewhere in between.
Right.
But as an entrepreneur, I would engage who are good teachers and also who are on one side and also who are professionals on the other side. I do a balance.
Got it, sir. Got it. Great. And sir, as an academy, do you have you ever had a sales team as such?
No, I'm yet to grow into that level.
You have to grow there. Okay. But you think if you grow, you might need a sales team going ahead. In
Yes,
the academy side and the educational side, they'll usually be called as counselors.
yes,
Right. Right.
yes, yes.
Got it.
Yes, I do some career counseling. In fact, some people who come to me for their marital counseling also, relationship counseling also. So
Okay.
I come whatever I take whatever that comes in my way.
Great.
Some help or somewhere, and they will that will help me pay, get paid later on.
Got it, sir. I mean, you're always available for people, is how I take it, in any way possible, if you can help
Correct.
them somehow.
Correct. So I'm able to enjoy that. You know what? Yesterday I went to bury a friend, and the one lady suddenly, her family was doing some rituals,
Right.
and she suddenly turned to me and said, "Hi, Raghavan sir, how are you?" I
Okay.
said, I was a bit embarrassed. Then she said, "She's one of my students." She remembered me. And she left that rituals half the way there. And
Okay.
when she saw me in the same burial ground, I went to the burial ground to see how they wanted me to help that thing repair,
Okay.
renovate. As a social cause, I wanted to study the situation there.
Okay.
So it happens like that. I gave her some marital counseling, some kind of one. She remembered.
Got it. No, I was about to say that, anything you do, you may not do it from a marketing point of view, but all these are connections at the end of the day, and it helps you build a lasting impact or impression. It leaves a lasting impression on people who are taking from you. And, it's a way that they remember, okay, you know what, Srinivasan sir, he's doing this. But the point is not that, do this expecting something. Do it anyways. I mean, if something's to come out of it, it might. That's the thing. Sir, from taking your business, right, finance academy, what is the most significant risk that you see, and is there any risk at all? If there is something, how are you overcoming it?
The risk is always about the next batch.
Right.
Like today, I gave a very successful result in January.
Hmm.
But for my next batch in May, there is no direct students here.
Right.
That is the
Okay.
thing. That, no, normally they will think
Okay.
it is quite normal. Like how many times you have gone to a particular doctor, and after he suggests some surgery, etc. Thank you, doctor. You are like, my God, thanks a lot. And then the next thing we will do is to go to another doctor for second opinion.
Right. Right.
So I run that same risk here.
Okay, but you're pretty confident that it's going to happen when the time comes
Yeah, yeah,
somehow.
yeah. The first opinion doctor always gets his business.
Okay, got it, sir. And you said, you've taught 500 students so far. uh, I'm thinking that's not inclusive of the in-campus courses that you're doing. Does that include that also?
My in-campus students are only now. You know,
In-campus students are only now. Yeah,
yeah, it includes that also.
it
500
includes that
includes
also.
that.
It
Only
includes the
this batch. No, they're going to write their exams now in
okay,
June.
okay. But when you're working with institutes, you don't charge directly. It's a revenue sharing model that you work on, I believe, with the institutes and the schools.
No, actually, no. They never. It didn't happen that way. No, there's no
It was not
revenue.
revenue sharing. Okay,
Sure. See, they did this only because they wanted to be different from other colleges.
got it, got it, sir. Um, okay. Uh, there was one more topic that I wanted to touch upon. 1 second, sir. Okay, sir. I will. I think all my questions. I think I'm done. I just have some fun questions. If there is anything that would help people, it's not even fun. It's just your personal stuff that you would have done. Like say, for example, what would be the three books that you would recommend for anybody to read and why?
Oh, I am a lover of books.
Okay, I think I've asked you a
Yeah.
right question then.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm a big time sponsor of the local book fair,
Hmm.
and every student every year will get at least 10 books of their choice. So I love these books.
Okay.
Uh, One book. You want three books?
Yeah, three.
Okay. Think and Grow Rich
Okay.
by Napoleon Hill. That's a first book. That's a book that transformed me.
Okay.
Second book is I don't think. Yeah, I have it. 1 second. Just give me a second.
Sure, sure, sure. Take
Can
your
you
time.
see the books with me? This is a mini
Yeah,
book.
yeah, yeah. I
Book
can see.
series.
Yeah.
What to say when
You talk to yourself.
when you
Wow.
talk to yourself.
Okay.
This is something which I saw first time when I was doing my 10th or 11th standard, and I
Okay.
missed it. It's written
Okay.
by Shad Hanstetter, PhD. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Every book will tell you you have to think positively, you have to think positively. But what do you
Right.
mean by that? How do you think positively? This is the only book which I have come across in my life that explains how to think positively.
Wow. Okay.
And incidentally, I'll tell you one thing.
Hmm.
This is about the thing is about words. So normally um, we find the conversations will be like this. Later, sir, later, it's sir, something like that. Okay.
Right. Right.
And every time you start a conversation, the replies will restrict you to from moving forward, or you will not get any clear sentences as
Right.
a reply. So, in
Right.
order to avoid all these things and then help the environment energetic, I always instruct my students and teachers to avoid three letters,
Mm-hmm.
and those three letters are but, you try. I will try. So, supposing Jack, I want to meet you at 2 o'clock. And if you say I will try to meet, no, no, I won't take your answer.
Got it.
I'll run away from you.
Okay.
You say that Raghavan sir, the interview was very good, bad. Then I won't take it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know. But means whatever you said before will get negated.
Right. Right.
And then if or all the stuff, right?
Hmm.
We won't use. Even our servant mind also will not use these words. Yeah, great. Okay, so that negative words we are removing from the system. That's another exercise which I personally teach all my students and staff.
Great. Okay.
This is the one which taught me that this is the one. And third book also I have, but it is nothing to do with personality or self development. One second,
Okay. Sure. Sure.
in my college days, I always wanted to become a advertisement guy. This guy is called David Ogilvy, the father of advertising. He has
Yeah.
written this book.
Okay.
And this I first read when I was in my 10th standard for the nice photographs of some women, this American women. But
Yeah.
then, after my third time study, I discovered that there is some fantastic message in that.
Right.
Like, where if you have to grow your organization, you
Right.
will have to hire people who are better than you.
Right.
So
Right.
there is an illustration in this book. So I always tell the same thing. Now, you know what? All my teachers whom I have engaged are doctorates, and they are always better teachers at any point of time compared to me. That's
Than
how
you.
I stand tall. Okay,
Brilliant, sir.
so and these are the three books which I suggest. Of course, I have a long list, but it's okay. Thank God
Yeah.
that we restricted it to three.
I don't know. I'll tell you why. Three. So I was having a conversation with another person yesterday. There was a podcast. His name is Naveen. He's only 24 years old. He's based in Bangalore. He teaches only USA USCMA to students,
Yep.
and he had attended some courses. There is a platform, and then there was a course that he attended. And then one of the social media influencers, they are told that three is a very psychologically appealing number. If you want to say something, structure it as three, not two, not four, not five, but three. If somebody is asking you to justify something, tell them, you know what, here's why I do it, and here are three reasons. So something about that just stuck to me. I've not still, made a deep dive into it, but I thought, okay, fine, let me apply this and see, and that's how I arrived at the number three. And
See, I'll tell you what, this could be the thing I'm able to relate it to. I'm a
right,
fan of, I told you that I'm a fan of psychologists and psychiatric processes.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
There's one famous psychiatric book written by
right.
Dr. Jose Silva, the Silva mind
Hmm.
control method. That's another. If you ask me for the fourth one, I would suggest
Yeah,
that fourth.
please, sir. What is that book?
Uh, Silva mind control technique.
Silva Mind Control Techniques. Okay,
Yeah, it will help you to figure out the how to get whatever you want, how to manifest your wishes, etc.
okay,
There, the basic thing is that you will have to lie down and relax, and then go to a particular state of mind, which is called alpha state of mind, and
okay,
then give a thought. Jack is going to love me.
okay.
Yeah, so I don't have to do anything else. Automatically, I will behave in such a way that Jack will automatically love.
Right.
Yeah, you can try with your girlfriend if you want. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
this is something, and
Right.
that they will count from some number to some number. It is always three when they say that you are now into your alpha state of mind.
Hmm. Okay.
So that's how
Interesting.
it could get that. I'm not sure, but I'm just guessing.
No, no, no. It's interesting, sir. This is how even I kind of think. But then, yeah, I'll also go and do some research on that and figure out what it is. It'll be interesting, and I'll share it with you also once I find out what is that.
Yeah.
But just to sum it up for the listeners, the three books suggested by Srinivasan are Think and Grow Rich, How to Talk to Yourself, and Ogilvy on Advertising. And the fourth book was Silva Mind Control Techniques. Sir, one final question to conclude the show. What is one question that you expected me to ask, but I did not, I could not, and how would you have answered that?
So can I join your course? I said yes.
Okay, sir, great.
Uh,
That was
my
really
my my answer is yes.
fine, fine, great. Sir, it was a absolute pleasure having you on the show. It was lovely conversing with you. I'm sure there is another part that we can make, and I'll get back to you for a part two. I'd love to talk about a lot of other stuff. Probably we can have a podcast just on the book recommendations that you can give and little tidbits that you can give on each of those books. It'll be wonderful.
I'll be very
Um,
happy to do that.
it's a pleasure, sir. It's an honor and a pleasure. I'll definitely get back to you for that.